Hi guys, thanks for being here on Wednesday afternoon. Just a quick opening remark. We started from looking at a real life use case, which is building robust alternatives to interbank lending networks. So essentially, if you look at the financial crisis of 07 or 08, it resulted in massive financial losses and damages for users that were not able to access the bank accounts, access credit as a result of contagion risk, which means there's a financial crisis in one spot, one bank restricts liquidity to another bank, and there's a domino effect in a country that has no financial crisis. You actually are impacted because you can't access your bank account for deposits, your bank gets raided or there's a run on the bank, or you can't get access to credit. This is exactly what happened in 07 or 08 throughout Europe, large parts of the US. So we started with the question, how do you build an alternative to a similar kind of situation, which most economists expect will happen again on a less than 5-year time frame. So the question was, okay, we see the emergence of DeFi protocols, we see the emergence of self-custody solutions. Is there an alternative whereby not just an individual, but a group of people can get access to the same banking services? And when I'm talking about being unbanked, where the whole banking unbank, the unbank metaphor is exceptionally overused, very tired, so we really want to move beyond it. The question is, when there is the next financial crisis, and there will be a next financial crisis, and banks are collapsing, what can we do to prepare for that kind of scenario? Right? So we have been in discussions with several groups that have really been working on this problem for the last decade, but we arrived at essentially what we see as a potential solution to consider. So starting point is a light protocol currently built on Ethereum that essentially enables a very easy creation of member-owned organizations. DAO is a close approximation, however, we have seen a very limited use of DAOs since the original DAO. In our use case, a DAO is basically a cooperative, right? So it's a member-owned organization with codified set of rules, and essentially a multi-sig with the governance module attached to it, right? So a fairly simple approach. What is important and where the problem lies, which my colleagues are going to talk about in a second, is how do you enable the creation of exchange of value between those organizations and scaling of that network of user-owned organizations. The easiest way to think about it is an example of community banking, right? And community banking is different from conventional banks insofar as they don't engage in basically fractional reserve lending, which means they're a lot more resilient to financial crisis. So, how do you create a financial network that will resist a financial crisis because it's not because it's not a part of conventional legacy financial system? That's the question that we started with, and my colleagues will run you through our approach, the problems that we encountered, how we think of solving them. Ilgis is another product, so he'll take it away.
Hello everybody. So we built a modular framework for creation of community-owned organizations where members will interact with each other and integrate different DeFi protocols. And also, as I said, we are focusing on DAO's interoperability and exchange of value between them. Let's look how looks our solution. In this slide, we can see how looks dashboard of DAO. Any member of the organization can access to social credit or social insurance. All is needed is to make regular contributions on time, and after some test period, he can get access to credit and insurance from other DAO members. In our case, DAO members use social reputation in order to assess the risks of this credit. Also, DAO members can manage their joint funds and put them on different data protocols and earn money using it. Now is available compound integration for our DAOs, and we are working on other integrations, and they'll come soon. Finally, we are focusing on building a mesh network of DAOs. One DAO can lend money to another DAO, actually any financial transaction can be abstracted as exchange of cash flow. So we create a financial primitive called it commitments to future cash flows. It's a financial primitive for building cash flow financing applications. So how it works? Imagine you have a business, and that business has a cash flow, and you want to scale your business and attract capital to do it. Then you can use a cash flow financing approach. You can borrow money now and repay it using a part of future cash flow. Actually, what happens? You sell your future cash flow and get money today. So we created a digital token, C2FC. It's a right to claim part of the future cash flow, where this cash flow arrives to holder of C2FC token. So what happens if I want to get a credit? I issue C2FC token and sell it to investor. Investor buys it, and now he get repayments for this credit. Benefits of that approach is that this token is batchable, so you can combine several C2FC in a set and trade it as one C2FC. And also, this C2FC token is tradable. So, for example, if investor needs liquidity, he can sell this C2FC on secondary market and get instantly his money back. A number of use cases can be built using this approach. We use it for creation lending service between DAOs, but also there's another use cases interesting for Web3. For example, network keepers like Zero Layer or staking service in Ethereum 2.0, they can attract additional capital to grow their businesses. Individuals who get paid for their jobs on SpanChain or Gitcoin can forward funds the expenses. Now our C2FC token is implemented on Ethereum. It works on mainnet, and also recently we built such a version of it because C2FC is more about logic abstractions and can be implemented on any Turing Complete smart contract platform. Now I want to give a word to my colleague and he will talk more about substrate implementations.
Okay, so why did we use Substrate for this? As we implemented our Ethereum prototype, we found out that actually it's too expensive for DAO votes to work because the transaction costs are very high. For example, if you are a member of a savings group, and you invest $20 to $30 in DAO, then each decision making will cost too much, and this alone makes the whole pointless, the whole product. So we decided to move part of our functionality to the other chain. For that, are using Substrate. Why? Because of its ability to accelerate our development of our own chain, and because Substrate is cool and is modular, and everyone who are using it also choosing the Substrate because of that, because of modularity and the fact that you can build and design your blockchain as Lego blocks. You can use already created building blocks or even add your custom ones. You can have all the bonuses that came with it, such as on-chain upgradability and the emerging Substrate infrastructure that are expanding as we talk. And in future, it helps us to integrate our system to the Polkadot, which potentially can open DAO the access to any assets and financial platforms that are already based on various blockchain projects. In our Substrate implementation, we want to implement all our logic parts of our product into the simple Substrate runtime modules. As simple as that. In our case, in contradiction to Ethereum prototype, it will work like on our nodes, on our own nodes, and in our blockchain we consider the core unit of staking mechanism, which we will implement the DAO. And we will motivate the DAO to be active validators by this. If you are an active validator, you are a DAO member, and if your DAO is actively participating in validating blocks, you can take out the fees or even earn money for your members. And in opposite, if you are a DAO that doesn't participate in validating blocks at all, you have zero profit and you pay for the fees as a cost of service. So here are the QR codes that also available on our GitHub repo, Acropolis.io. It's already implemented on Substrate, our CTFC, and this is prototype on Ethereum. You can watch on the GitHub. And what's next? As the Polkadot ecosystem is still growing, still emerging, the number of teams building solutions using Substrate. For example, Chainix has already implemented their Bitcoin bridge and their own on-chain decentralized exchange. Also, we see an opportunity as leveraging Ethereum-based DeFi protocols, and we'll be using Chainlink's oracles for that, to build the bridges between Polkadot and the key Ethereum ecosystem. For example, connecting the DAI from MakerDAO, and as it became a key for a component for any financial protocol. And just imagine that these tools and protocols could interconnect and operate and create the whole new chains that will exchange the real assets. What's next? What is the future? We want to implement most DeFi protocol integrations and fiat and ramps until the end of the year. We also want to work with other teams building on Substrate in order to bring DeFi into the Polkadot system. And we will be testing first DeFi integrations on Kusama. At least we intend to, on our Substrate-based chain, and really looking forward to try a network to end break. Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions?